Boy, I look tired. Whatchamacallit? So I just want to get thoughts and opinions of NightReign out because I've been playing it for a while. I'm actually going to be playing again later tonight. The test servers on EST is going to be around 10 to 1, so it's going to be super late at night. That's why I haven't been getting no sleep, and that's why my eyes look the way they do. So the gist of NightReign, I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. I think it's going to be super entertaining. Only question I have for it right now is like longevity, because obviously since it's being a test server, I don't know the longevity of it because apparently there's going to be different skins, weapons, DLC, map change, different maps. I don't know quite yet so far, but just from the test server itself, I think it's pretty entertaining. For how long? I don't know. I've been playing for at least 2 to 3 hours per test run for the servers, and so far I haven't found anything that's like really bugging me to the point where it's going to be like, oh, I don't think this is fun at all. I'm not even going to waste my time. I've been actually enjoying and waiting for the test server time to come out, and I've been really enjoying it so far. My main concerns that I have so far are just basically when it comes to the loot drops of it, specific weapons, and the time for the outer ring to come out, basically. So the circle, honestly, if we're thinking about a Fortnite, you're just waiting for the circle. I think the circle comes in too fast, and I think it comes into in areas like, I think also this is going to go to a different aspect of it, but in some areas where there aren't these like jump shoots where they can just jump you up from a cliff or something like that, if you're not in the perfect position paying attention to the circle and when the ring is closing, you're screwed. Like you're not going to be able to traverse and climb through areas that are too steep and they don't have little hidden pathways that you can walk through. I've had multiple teammates die because of that, and I had to go into a specific area by myself because of that. But so back to the main issues that I have, and then I'll talk about what's fun about it and what I've been enjoying, and then obviously thoughts, predictions, and all this other stuff. When it comes to the drops, I think they're terrible. I think that in order to get items in chests and breakable objects and stuff like that, pretty cool. I like how they're scattered all over the place. They need to do a better idea of at least trying to get something that's actually worthwhile. So far, it feels like any type of item drop that's been coming out is just not even worthwhile. I don't even use it. We're having throwing knives. Why even have throwing knives into the item class? Just get rid of them. They do no specific damage whatsoever. They don't even do damages against the lower level enemies when you're trying to level up and get souls, so that way you can get from 1 to 10 as quickly as you can. I've yet to get to day 3 because of that. It's been not because of the item drops, but because it's so hard to get souls. So they definitely need to figure out a way to, I mean, I guess we'll go into another aspect of that, but item drops, before we even go further, because I'm jumping all over the place, item drops, they need to fix and organize the item drops. It's terrible so far. The things that are dropped are not even worthwhile. The only things that I've ever actually used are worthwhile is the healing gems that surround the area, and you guys heal as a group, but you have to stay in one specific location. And then obviously the silver and gold pickle fingers. Those are good, especially when you're beating a boss, and then you're able to get more souls, obviously, because the name of the game is to level up as fast as you can, because it's level 1 sucks. You want to get to level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 10 as quickly as possible. Obviously level up more than that when you get to day 2 and 3, because you're gonna need that shit. It's really, really hard. This game is hard. If you're not working with a team, if you're trying to go on your own, it's hard. You can go on your own when you're leveled up, and then to collect more souls, which is what I do, especially when it comes to the Church America. I'll show you guys a clip of me going to the Church America, and then I'll be able to beat like a semi-boss after I get the flasks. Whenever you go to a different church, there's usually 3 churches. If you go, and they're scattered across the map, if you go to them, you'll add another flask. So I recommend going there, and you can get a chance of gold and silver pickled fingers, so that way you can use that for when you beat an enemy. But yeah, just going back to the item drops, terrible. Needs to fix that. For the fire, I think it comes too fast. I think for the day 1, 2, and 3, really cool, because you get different bosses and stuff like that. But when it comes to the circle closing in too fast, I think there's just not enough time to where if we were to go as a group to explore a cave or explore a dungeon or explore a castle, there's just not enough time per quest. Unless you're super duper efficient and you have a full squad, everyone's mic'd up, geared up, everyone knows what class they're going to use, and they're going to go, they know exactly where things are, then it could be fine. But for people who are just doing random test runs and stuff like that, it's way too fast. I think it needs to be, it doesn't need to be long. The game doesn't need to be drawn out for like an hour per circle, but I think it needs another maybe 5 minutes. Give it another 5 minutes per test run when it comes to day 1, 2, and 3, and that should give it enough time to do a little bit more quests and be able to do scatter out the map, where we're gonna go, who we're gonna hit, what castle we're gonna run, what boss fights we're gonna do. Pretty easy once you get the layout and stuff like that, so it is a little bit easier. And then obviously because the items are so trash, you don't even have to explore too much when it comes to items. But I think traversing it with the fire, it's decent. There needs to be more jump areas, just because the circle's coming too fast, you don't know where you're going. It can be kind of hectic and a mess if you're not dealing with people. For the entire gameplay, we weren't dealing with people, so we didn't have too much synergy going on. But those are honestly my main concerns. And then obviously the weapons, I think the weapons are shit. I think that the weapon scaling is also weird. Obviously it's also going to carry about which character you're using, because each character, you know, their stats do matter. So obviously the first one, I forget his first name, but the guy with the shield and sword, not the owl guy that I play as, but you're able to scale him with strength, so obviously he's going to deal the most damage. But the weapons and weapon placements, the weapons that you get, it's really just like pretty anticlimactic. It doesn't really do anything for it to where it's going to change the gameplay so much. The leveling system, pretty decent, not the best, but it's pretty decent. You do gain a big chunk of health and strength from like level 1 to 5, and then obviously as you get like 5 to 10 and 10 to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, obviously the scaling is a lot different, but you do notice that you're able to take a good amount of hits. What I've loved so far is basically, since they already had the framework from Elden Ring, everything plays like really fucking smooth. Even from like a test server, like it's really smooth. So far it's been, obviously I had to play this on PS5 because I didn't have the code for PC, but so far everything's been super smooth. Matchmaking is a little bit hard because sometimes people aren't on right away when it comes to test servers. So I remember one time, the longest I ever waited was like 5 minutes. But I was just exploring and figuring out different characters, passive abilities, skills, and stuff like that. So it's super cool. Characters, really love the characters. I think they're super cool, super unique. I think there's multiple different things to not get bored with the characters because they're so unique and so different. I think that's pretty decent. Because if you have the drawbacks from the items and you have the drawback for the weapon drops, I think that's really, I think they did a really good job with the characters. So far, my favorite character is the owl guy. I just like his specials, his passives. I like everything else like that. And then I also like the Duchess. I think her abilities are insane. She has this one ability that I love, which is like a clock. You basically, any person that you're fighting, if you attack them and do damage to them, and then you use that clock, you basically, if say it's a giant, then they'll spawn in a giant. I'll show you gameplay of, if you guys will see a gameplay of when I am beating an ancient dragon and I hit it a couple times. I use that time swap, the watch, and then the ancient dragon comes out and attacks that, and it does crazy amount of damage. Cloak, being able to go invisible and having not your, have your enemies not see you. I think that's also fantastic. I think that's a beautiful. I think they did a really good job with the characters. I have yet to play the magic. I haven't played as the magic girl, the wizard. I don't know who the person is. I'm not really good into magic. I don't like doing magic. Strength builds and dexterity builds, those are the main things whenever I play any Souls-like. I just love that better. Magic, I think, is kind of boring. You pretty much have to play pretty passive, but not that it would be bad. She has this one ability where she's able to outline enemies in like a blood red X. So basically within any specific radius, she's able to just like, you're able to see the enemies a lot clearer. And then if you hit them while that ability is active, you actually get health back. So I think that's also really cool. What I've noticed about this game is that it is really team orientated. You do really have to work as a team, and then you should be able to get from one area to the next. Like if your team is got like a route from like A to B to C, where you go to the churches, then bosses, then get some extra loot and stuff like that, and really synergize together, I think this game, you should be able to get to day 3 and win pretty easily. Just based off on the damages that the different types of players that could, like, for instance, blood is still crazy overpowered in this game. 2-3 hits, blood builds up, bleed builds up, and the blood loss is insane. It just like takes out the health like that. Imagine you 3 people using that. You guys would get blood weapons and a support character, a strength build, and then like an intelligence user or something like that. You would just go insane. You would just wipe out bosses. Day 1 is really easy. Day 2 hard, especially if people are under leveled, because they're constantly dying, and it gets annoying because obviously no mics, no teamwork, no synergy. It's going to be super hard. Day 3, haven't even reached that yet, so I can't even give you an opinion on that. But that's going to be like that's honestly my personal thoughts so far. I'm going to play again again tonight, but I just wanted to do this quick update video and show you guys that, like, my thoughts and opinions on it. So far, everyone has a pretty decent ability. I expected more from the strength build. The claw is like and then the his special is pretty good though, because he's able to do the claw with the explosion. I think that's really decent. It does a good amount of damage, but so far it's just the Duchess and the owl guy for me. That's gonna be the best. The AoE for the owl guy, if you guys want to do like a really easy run to farm loot, what I've been doing is basically, so I like, this is how I play through whenever I get on the beginning of the test server. So like before the end of day 1, I'll go to each church. So I'll go to, there's 3 different churches in Church America, and you'll get lucky to get gold pickle, but I also have gotten silver. So either silver or gold, and that's usually on the far right on the chest. If you smack that, the drop so far has been 10 out of 10. It's always been that, unless there's something different that's going to come up on test servers. Who knows when they change it or something like that. But it's always been a gold or silver pickle. You get an extra flask, so you get more chances for heals. On the way there, you can level up, kill some enemies, level up, and then right near there, especially if you're with a team, right near there in the vicinity of the church, there's always going to be a boss. So if you're able to take down a boss, either a giant or a horseman or some type of boss, or the lion with the sword, if you're able to take down a boss, you can just farm loot, and then he's really good to use him to do an AoE damage on the lesser characters and farm souls with that. Then on the day 1, if you want to get the main boss, then everybody takes a golden pickle, and then boom, level up. That's been my strategy. The only problem is that getting that with team without mics is super hard. So like, if they know what they're doing, it's really good. You guys can all run in unison, because there's a lot of times when I was playing as the Duchess, I don't know why, but every time I was playing as the Duchess, everybody would just run their own separate ways, and it just did not end well. It just really didn't end well at all. But like, so far, pretty easy pass when you know where to go. If the maps changes, obviously that's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to want to check out where the churches are instantly, and then figure out little spots, different ways to get the bosses, so that we can get better souls. One thing that I was also really surprised about is 2 bosses spawning up at once. That was insane. We attack a dragon, and next thing you know, Margaret comes out of nowhere. I was like, what the hell? Like, how? Like, you need synergy in this game. You need synergy. Your team needs to work as a team. You cannot go out and do your own lone soldier. This is an Elden Ring to where you can max out your character, and like, you can one-hit enemies at one point. You know what I mean? The enemies are super hard. Even as you scale, they scale as well. Granted, the lower levels obviously is going to be a little bit harder, but as you get into different, like day 1, day 2, we have yet to hit day 3. I can't even imagine how hard that's going to be. Like, your weapons need to be on point, your skills need to be on point, your team needs to be on point, everyone needs to be on point, which is why I think they need to increase the duration of the fire. I think that if everyone is not, if you are not on point for like a second, you go down, and like having a team rush, having an enemy rush you while your team is down, and having hit your teammate in order to revive them, it only gets harder after the 2nd death and the 3rd death. I mean, it gets to the point where it's like, you just run away at that point, because it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? But so far, super enjoyable. Weapons they need to fix, fire they need to fix, loot and item drops they really need to fix. So far, amazing with the characters. Abilities are like 50-50 on the strength build. Everybody else so far, I love the abilities. Teamwork, I think it's a really good game if you want to do teamwork, especially when it comes to synergizing, because you could just wipe out an entire castle if everybody synergizes well. The overall map in general, it doesn't feel like it's too much different from Limgrave, so I loved Limgrave, so I'm obviously gonna say that that's also really good. Bosses, really good too. Love the bosses. Elden Ring has amazing bosses. NightReign is no different. Really good bosses. Everything is good. Everything seems just top notch. 10 out of 10 so far. It's fun. It's a fun game. I think anybody who gets it. I mean, if it's like $40, why not get it? The only thing is like longevity. How long is it gonna last? You know what I mean? If they continuously update it, $40 is a fucking steal. $60, I could see why some people would not want to play it. You know what I mean? $60, I can see why some people. And then if they start doing like DLCs and add-ons, $40 with some DLC add-ons, they get their money back. I mean, pretty good game, fun, super fun. But that's about it, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know. See you.